Good afternoon, Vande Mataram, Jai Hind. I hope you have watched the previous videos of Union Executive, and today we are going to start about the State Executive. Before that, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get the notification of new videos on time. So, in the Union Executive, it has a few parts that are President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Minister and Attorney General. Similarly, in State Executive, the parts are the Chief Minister, Council of Minister, Advocate General and Governor. We haven't learned about the Attorney General, so we will be discussing about the Attorney General and the Advocate General in one video simultaneously. But today we will be discussing only about the Governor, and the next video we will be discussing about the Chief Minister, Council of Minister, Advocate General and the Attorney General in one go. So without wasting time, let's start. So Governor, there are two types of Governor appointed in India. There are the Governor for a state and either the administrator or the Lieutenant Governor for the Union Territories. So the Governor is the de jure executive head of the state level. His position is analogous to that of the President at the center. So the President as the Union Government head and the Governor as the state head. The Article 155 says that the Governor of the state shall be appointed by the President by warrant under his hand and the seal. The appointment is done by the President. There can be either one governor for two or more states as well. So we will discussing about now some top points that I would like to cover. As per the 7th Amendment Act 1956, a provisions making it possible to appoint the same person as the governor for two or more states has been added to the Article 153. As I said, where the same person is appointed as a governor of two or more states, the emoluments and allowances payable by the governor or to the governor shall be allocated among the states in such proportion as the President may by order determine. Suppose there are two states, one is a bigger state and another is a small state. So the governor will get the salaries in the ratio. Suppose there are two states of one bigger and one smaller, then the governor will get the salary or the allowances in a ratio of 70% from the bigger state and 30% from the smaller state. That's what it's saying. Then some important articles for the office of the governor. 153 says the governor of the state. 154 says the executive power of the state. 155 says the appointment of the governor. 56 says term of office of the governor. 157 says the qualification for the appointment as the governor. 158 says the conditions of the governor's office. 159 says governor's oath or affirmation. 161 says the power of the governor to grant pardons and order. 163 says the aid and advice by the Council of Ministers to the governor. 175 says right of governor to address and send messages to the house or houses. 176 says special addresses by the governor. Also the 200 says the assent to bill, that is assent of the governor to the bills passed by the state legislature. 101 says the bill reserved by the governor for consideration of the President. 113 says the governor's power to promulgate ordinance. 117 says consultation of governor by the President in the matter of the appointments of the judges of the high courts. 233 says the appointment of district judges by governor in consultation with the high court. These are some different types of articles regarding the office of the governor. We will discussing them one by one. So first of all, the qualification. Rajyapal ki yogyata. It is given in the Article 157. In all the appointment we have learned, the person who is elected as the governor, president, prime minister, council of minister, he should be the citizen of India. Then the age criteria. he should have attained the 35 years of age. These are some basic qualifications. Then the conditions of the office given in the Article 158. The governor shall not be a member of either of the House of the Parliament or House of the Legislature of any state specified in the first schedule, and if a member of either of the Parliament or House of the Legislature of any such state be appointed governor, he shall be deemed to have vacated his seat in that house on the date on which he enters upon his office as a governor. So that means the governor should not be a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Also, he should not be a member of the state legislature, council, and the Vidhan Parishad and the Vidhan Sabha. He should not be a member of either of the four houses. And if he is the member of the parliament or the state legislature, then he has to vacate that seat whenever he or she is appointed as a governor. The governor shall not hold any other office of profit. We have discussed the office of profit in the previous videos. So if you have any doubt regarding that, you can ask me in the comment section. The governor shall be entitled without payment of rent to use his official residence. Emolument, allowances and privilege would be determined by the parliament by law. So parliament basically decides over the allowances, emolument, the payment he would receive. Then comes similarly, the president, the governor is also entitled to a number of immunities and privileges during his term of office. He is immune from any criminal proceedings, even in respect of his personal act. That means he is not given any type of criminal proceedings whenever he is in the office. Also in respect to his personal acts. But no, any governor or the presidents do the criminal proceedings. That's the other part. Who gives the oath to the governor? It is given in the Article 159. The oath is administered to the governor by the Chief Justice of the correspondent state high court, and in case he is absent, the senior most judge of that particular court. Then comes the tenure of the governor. How much time one governor should have on a state. The governor holds office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. It is given in the Article 156(3) and Article 156(1). He holds office until the pleasure of the president. If the president says you are not the governor of one state, you are appointed to the other state, he leaves. According to the Article 156(2), the governor can give his resignation to the president. He can again be appointed to the post of the governor. So the governor is appointed for the 5 years. The president says you are not the governor of the states. You are appointed to another state's governor. Then he vacates that place. Also, if he wants to resign, he gives his resignation to the president, and he is eligible for the reappointment. Some powers of the governor, the executive, the financial, and other powers, we will discussing about them in one by one. So first of all, the executive powers. All executive actions of the government of a state are formally taken in his name. So similar to the presidents, all the executive actions of the government of the union are formally taken in respect with the president, and for the state it is governor. He appoints the chief minister and the other ministers. They also hold office during his pleasure. He appoints the advocate general of a state and determines his remuneration. The president appoints the attorney general and the governor appoints the advocate general. The advocate general holds office during the pleasure of the governor. He appoints the state election commissioner. However, state election commissioner can be removed only in the like manner and on the like ground as the judge of high courts. He appoints the chairman and the members of the state public service commissions. However, they can be removed only by the president and not by the governor. The chairman and the members of the SPSC are appointed, we can say, by the governor but removed by the president. The governor appoints the vice chancellor of those universities, being the chancellor of the state universities. Then comes the legislative power. A governor is an integral part of the state legislature. He can summon or prorogue the state legislature and dissolve the state legislative assembly. He addressed the first sessions of the legislative assembly, that is Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha, the legislative assembly. He summon, that means he says both the houses of the state to come together and have a discussion, a joint sitting you can say, or the first session of the legislative assembly. He addresses that. He nominates 1/6 of the member of the state legislative council. He can nominate one member to the state legislative assembly from the Anglo-Indian, but this, we can say, the appointment of the Anglo-Indian committee has been removed by 104th Constitution Amendment Act 2019. The term of Anglo-Indian committee, the appointment of in the Lok Sabha as well as the legislative assembly is removed. The governor can withhold the assent of the bill or return the bills for the reconsideration if they are not money bills, and even reserve the bill for the consideration by the president. Governor have the power to give his assent, to withhold the assent to the bill, or return the assent except the money bill, or he just simply put stay on the bill for the reconsideration from the president. He can promulgate ordinance when state legislature is not in session, must be approved by the state legislature within 6 months from its reassembly, and can also withdraw any time. It is given in the Article 213. Some financial powers. With permission of governor, budget is laid before state legislative council. Similarly, in the Lok Sabha, it is with prior permission of the president, it is presented in the Lok Sabha, and in the state it is with permission of the governor, budget is laid before the state legislative assembly. He controls the contingency fund of state. Money bills can be introduced in the state legislature only with his prior recommendation. Then comes the judicial powers of the governor. The governor is consulted by the president while appointing the judges of the concerned state high court. The judge of subordinate courts of the high courts are appointed by the governor. He grants pardons, reprieves, respite, and remissions of punishment, or suspend, remits, commute the sentence of any person convicted of any offence against any law relating to the matter to which the executive power of the state extends, given in the Article 161. We have discussed about what is mean by pardoning, the reprieve, respite, remissions of the punishments. We have discussed in the part of the president. So if you have any doubt, watch that video or just ask me in the comment. I will give you the answer. Then other special powers of the governor. No criminal proceedings can be initiated in any court during the governor's term. As I said before this, arrest order cannot be issued by any court while in the office. If a governor is in the office, then no arrest warrant can be issued or no any criminal proceedings can be issued on him. The governor is not liable to any court for the excessive exercise of the powers and duties of his office. Then some emergency powers of the governor. If the country or a state having any emergency, then some powers are given to the governor additional to the previous powers. Reports to the presidents if the state government is not running constitutionally and recommends the president's rule, given in the Article 356. We have discussed about the Article 356, but I will make another video regarding the emergencies, the Article 352, 356, 365 and the remaining article for the financial emergency. A separate video I will make that on. When the president's rule is in progress, he becomes the agent of the union government in the state. He takes over the regain of the administration directly into his hand and runs the state with the aid of the civil servant. Then the convictions. The candidate should not belong to the state where he has to be appointed as the governor, so that he is free from the local politics. So that means whoever is appointed as a governor, suppose I am going as a governor for a state. I am from Maharashtra, so I will be not appointed as a governor for the state of Maharashtra. Other than Maharashtra, I will be appointed as a governor. The president should consult to the chief ministers of the state concerned while appointing governor, so that the smooth functioning of the constitutional machinery in the state is ensured. That means the president discusses with the chief minister of the state for the appointment of the governor, and the appointment of the governor is then done. Then comes the Punchi Commission on the center-state relation. It says the Punchi Commission state that fixing of the governor's term for 5 years, the impeachment by the state legislature for its removal, the chief ministers of the state should also be consulted in their selection. As the president discussed with the chief minister, it is given by the Punchi Commission. Then what are the differences in the governor and the president? The basic difference is the governor is the head of state and the president is the head of the entire country. Both the president and the governor have the powers to waive the sentences, but the governor has no power with respect to the death penalties and the waiver of the sentences given by the military court. The major difference is that if any person is given the death penalty, then the governor cannot pardon, respite on that particular sentence. Then the president is elected, while the governor is appointed by the president. The president is the head of all three services and has military powers, while governor does not have any power related to the army. The president is the constitutional head, while the governor acts as the constitutional link between the center and the state under the federal system. So the president is the constitutional head, the topmost, but the governor is the link. It joins the union government and the state government. He acts as a middleman. The president has diplomatic powers, but the governor has no such powers. And the last slide, the Sarojini Naidu was the first female to become the governor of the union state. The Sarojini Naidu was first female to become a governor of a state. She governed Uttar Pradesh from 15 August 1947 to 2nd of March 1949. Her daughter Padmaja Naidu was the longest serving female governor with 11-year tenure in West Bengal. Tamilisai Soundarajan was recently appointed as the first female governor of Telangana. Sucheta Kriplani was the first chief minister of any Indian state. She was the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh from 2nd October 1963 to 13th March of 1967. These are the few short notes you need to note down. The questions directly asked from this: who was the first female governor, who was the first female chief minister, and the duration, the longest serving female governor. This type of question that directly I asked in the exam. So that was all about the governor. We will be discussing about the chief minister, the council of minister, advocate general, attorney general tomorrow at the same time. So don't forget to watch that video as well, and like, subscribe and share with your friends, and don't forget to click on the bell icon to get the notification on time. That's it about today's topic of the State Executive Part 1. Have a good day. Thank you.